Thank you. So yeah, my pleasure being here. Looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm guessing you're interested in, because you're in the crypto startup school, in how ICOs work and what are the best practices. And I am here to talk a bit about our experience and our findings of what happened during the preparation of our own ICO. So I will start out with a short introduction of myself. And so what we do, what Vreo does is, I will keep it short because apparently people have already talked about us, yay, is we do embedded in-game advertising. You can see it here on a screenshot how it would look like. It can be a billboard, a banner, can be on the front of a store or something like that. So it's more as part of the surroundings, more like product placement you know from film and TV. And we provide that infrastructure for the video gaming industry. So we have developed our own solution, which is already up and running, which the game developers can basically stream in and out dynamically ads into the surroundings of the video games without interrupting the user experience. Every single ad impression is measured and tokenized to prevent ad fraud, because ad fraud is, according to studies, the #1 concern of digital advertising in the year 2018. As we write every single metadata, like who's the developer, advertiser, the gamer, into a blockchain where it's stored immutably, no ad fraud can happen, and advertisers can be sure that we bill for exactly the amount the ad impression actually deserved. So we have a plugin for developers and a marketplace to match developers and advertisers and gamers. Myself, I've been working in various startups in both the gaming, the tech, and the food industry for now 14 years. I have, for example, implemented and established laser tag. Some of you might know it, into the German market. When I joined there, we started with 0, and when I left, we had 14 venues. I built up a franchising chain and also community engagement. I organized tournaments and stuff like that. Also, in my first job for esports, like very small ones, regional esport tournaments, which was a lot of fun. Okay, this is about me and Vreo. So everybody loves audience contributions, right? So I will start right with it, and then I will trim it down a bit. So just wanted to check how many people are thinking about doing an ICO or in the process of preparing an ICO here in the room? Kind of thinking about it. Okay, cool. Thanks. So what do you think? How much time do you need to actually prepare the ICO? Is it up to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, or more than 6 months? Like up to 3 months? Who thinks it can be done this fast? Yeah, I think so too. 3 to 6 months? Okay. Do you think it could take more than 6 months? Okay, that's kind of split between 3 to 6 months and 6 months. I think it depends heavily on the project and on the product. We thought we could do it in 6 months, and we didn't. So we took, I think, 8 months. But this was because we made a few changes, like jurisdictional, because the market, as you might know, is ever changing, and you have to adapt to that because of compliance and legal. How much does it cost? Should it cost no more than 50K, 50 to 200, or 200 plus? Just a setup. So up to 50K? 50 to 200K? Okay. So you all think it costs more than 200,000 euros to set up an ICO, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. My bad. It's like so many people over there. Okay, so I would also agree with the majority that it again depends on your audience, how much you have already invested, how much you're already known, what is your team like. But I would say that it's usually in the region of above 200K if you do a bigger one maybe, and if you're not that well established. So for the ones planning it, do you think you are prepared? Do you think you know most things, or do you actually think, oh, I need help? So who thinks he's fully prepared and ready to go? Who thinks he knows most things but not everything? Very nice. And who thinks, okay, I need a lot of help, or at least some help? Yeah, both. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like we started out with a pretty good impression, we thought. So we were like in the middle. We think we knew most things. Stuff changed. Stuff came on top. So I think everybody needs help. To think you can do it all on your own, you don't need any partners, is just a great, great misconception from my experience. Yes, of course.
On the cost, can you elaborate a little bit on what you mean by just the setup? Because you're saying more than 200,000.
Yeah, and for the legal, for the smart contract auditing, setting up of the entity, terms and conditions of the sale, for example, getting maybe even an MVP up and running, and do the roadshow. I don't talk about ad banner placement or PR or stuff like that, just for really getting it rolling, like that you are at a position where you can actually do the ICO and promote what you are doing. So marketing is, I think, even more. I couldn't even put it in here because it totally depends on what are you doing, what's your audience, how well are you known in this audience, and stuff like that. Because sometimes 30K are enough. You launch like 5 press releases, and then people say, "Oh yeah, I know this project," and hype. And sometimes you spend 500,000, and it's just not there yet. So this is, I think, even a bigger discussion. Yeah. So this is a small checklist. What I personally think what is definitely needed in the preparation phase before you even go basically out there. So you need, of course, a website. You should have a white paper and a smaller pitch deck because not everybody wants to read through a 70-page white paper, I've learned. You need a strong token use case. And you need social media channels at least set up so people can immediately join, because there's a lot of discussion. I've heard Twitter is the most important, Medium is the most important, Facebook is the most important, no, Reddit is the most important, Press is the most important. I think everything is equally important because everybody has a favorite medium. And I know that's not a satisfying answer, but I think you have to identify where your audience is and basically reach out on different channels and see what works for you. So set it up and see what converts best. And you need a team that is covering the most important areas. I see a lot of projects, some of them even approach me and ask me for help, and I'm just in the process of it, that have covered some areas, but for example, not a tech guy on their team. And how can you do a blockchain project if you don't have a tech guy on your team? Or other way around, you have a lot of projects that have like 10 developers and 0 business, 0 marketing, 0 human resources. And I don't think that works as well. So I think you need to cover the most areas because you actually want to do, you want to run a business. What I would propose as well is, and I think that's a trend we see in the year of 2018, that you have at least a prototype or an MVP available. The times where you just say, here's my white paper, give me $50 million, are over, and I think rightfully so. You also should have some first advisors or influencers who can help you reach out and who can help you gain a bit of traction and who can introduce you to more people. Bounty and community contribution is definitely something you can think about. I will talk about that later. And I think that's one of our learnings. We should have utilized our community a bit earlier, because there were a lot of cool people who were really invested into our project and who wanted to help and just waited for us to say, hey, do anybody of you know any people, basically? And they said, yeah, cool, I can go to this. Oh, I wanted to do this and stuff like that. So I think if you have a great early community, they can help you out in getting the word spread faster. And last but not least, you need a thick skin, because there will be setbacks. There will be cool stuff happening. You will have to travel a lot. You will miss sleep. And there will be a lot of people who are trying to spam you and who are trying to bring you down. So just be sure about it and know what is coming. So then there's the promotion phase before you actually go basically forward with the whole sale. First thing, you will travel a lot. This is our roadmap. This is the countries where we have been to. Luckily, not only me, but we have a team where at least 3 people can travel and present our project. And we had another community manager who did stuff, for example, in Spanish. There were times where I didn't know in which time zone I was in, because I was in US this day, Asia the other day, and back to Europe another day. So yeah, just keep in mind that you will have to travel a lot.
Were you consulted or were you helped with all these events? Did you have an agency, PR, who brought you there?
50-50, I would say. Like 50% we did events on our own. Like we approached them or they approached us and we took the valuable ones. We also went to events where we are doing in-game advertising. So we went to gaming events. Like a lot of people I see are just going to crypto, blockchain. And I think that's a mistake. You should also go where your business is at, because you will meet partners there and you will meet people who understand your business best, basically. We have the partner of Iconic Lab, which you have all met earlier. So they have organized around 10 to 12 events for us and took us on the roadshow. We went with them, so this was a big part. But a lot of stuff happened through other advisors or through our own as well. Yeah, I think it's also important for us, for example, with gaming, the Asian market is the biggest. That's why we went a lot to, basically Asia and Eastern European countries as well, because free-to-play is a strong trend there. Free-to-play needs monetization. We provide monetization. So yeah, that's basically the reason why we went there a lot. And the feedback was really great. And we gathered a lot of partners, which also bring validity to you. Because if you gain traction on your business as well, and not just the ICO, then people can be sure that your business model will work in the future. You can also, if you do it early on, you can draft and test messages. For example, for us, it was like, is it native advertising? Is it embedded advertising? What works better? People already have heard of native advertising, so embedded just makes more sense, for example. That's really on a basic level, but just engage your community and ask them, test messages. What do you like most? Test claims, test slogans, and they will help you out. Do not be shy to get help, because you cannot do it on your own. Even if you maybe if you have a team of 50 people, okay, but most ICOs and startups do not. So get partners and advisors. We did it, for example, for Bounty, for something like investor relations, for marketing. We got people from the gaming community who could help us get entry to create valuable gaming events. And I think it's a really good way to just gain access to people who are both interested in your project and very knowledgeable. So don't be shy. Yeah, you should translate your stuff. For example, I went to Spain to a meetup and I found out that like 64% didn't speak Spanish. Didn't speak English, so only Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So what we did, we got a translator who helped us out, but then they came back and asked, okay, do I have to read the white paper in English now? So we translated it into Spanish, and now we got a pretty good conversion from Spanish. So definitely translate your stuff. You can do it through bounties. You have to be careful there, because a lot of people will just put it in Google Translate and say, hey, I'm done, give me my tokens. But yeah, you can check that. You have proofreaders, for example. So yeah, but it helps. As I said, attend meetups and business conferences, shows that are for your business, because you will meet people there. And I was surprised how many gamers and gaming companies already think about blockchain, talk about blockchain, and you might even find somebody who is interested in your token, either as an investor or as somebody who actually wants to use it later on. You have to be prepared for spammers and for scammers. I will get onto the scammers later, because that's a big part of doing an ICO, I fear, to find it out. What is the good stuff? What is the bad stuff? So basically, you have to do a lot of smaller due diligence on the people who are approaching you. It's sometimes even cheaper and faster to find somebody who will pitch for you locally. For example, if I were to travel to South Korea every time, it would cost us actually more money than to one time onboard somebody, train him, and then he can go to the events. So a lot of people are afraid of losing control. You don't know what they do. I agree, it's hard to find somebody, but that's also where, again, advisors and partners come in. If they can introduce you to somebody, then you have a great human asset, basically, that can help you grow your community in the areas that are of most interest to you. Then it goes to the sale phase. Cannot speak for the public sale phase yet, as again, we thought we might be done sooner. But what I can say is what is the preparation. So again, you need the smart contract. Definitely, you need an audit. And don't do it only because it's cheap, because there's a lot of people who say, yeah, I can do the smart contract for 1,000, and the audit can, my friend can do it for another 1,000 or 5 Ether or whatever. Do it with somebody who actually knows what to do, because if your smart contract is false and the smart contract gets hacked, all the other effort is gone, and also all your validity basically in the whole ICO space is also gone. Set up a wallet or multiple wallets, depending on the smart contract. Have an explainer video, because not everybody wants to read. Some people want to listen, some people want to watch. So have a variety of stuff. Have an infographic on how to participate. We have done this far too late. Have a redundancy of your website, because if you're successful, people might and will probably attack you. And through DDoS, they will try to scam you, try to phish you, set up a similar website and direct to that. Be listed at rating sites. Rating sites are both a good thing and a bad thing, because a lot of rating sites, I think this was also covered earlier, are basically pay to win. You pay for good ratings, and that is a shame, because that's not the reason for ratings. For the private sale, don't overdo it with the bonuses. We got approached by some projects who said, yeah, we're offering like 100% bonus. So this is way too much, in my opinion. Some pools came to us and said, yeah, okay, we will take like, I don't know, 500 Ether if you give us a bonus of 80%. And we declined them because I think that's just not good for your project in the long run.
One question about
Sure.
the DDoS attacks of your website. Who might be interested in attacking the website? Like, is it competitors or?
Could be competitors, but also some people will try to bring down your website. So people are panicking and looking for other websites, and they have set up a similar website. They then go to their website. It's identical, but the Ether address is different. So basically, this is both, this is a problem from haters, basically, competitors, but also from people who are trying to scam you. Another thing I've not included here is basically, we have a policy of we do not PM people, because if you say you PM people a lot on Telegram, for example, other people will do it as well. And we have kicked like 10 people already who had the same name as me or another admin who tried to PM people, and we're not even live yet. So it wouldn't make any sense. And if you do a private sale, try to aim for strategic value. There can be some people who say, okay, I will come in, maybe give me a bit higher bonus, but I can offer you this. Again, you have to check, but I think that's a good, it's always better to have smart than dumb money, right?
One question, please.
Yes.
About the audit, and kind of related to that, due diligence. How many of your customers actually care about that?
About what, the smart contract audit?
The smart contract has been audited. How many actually perform due diligence?
So basically, I don't know how many people will actually read our audit, but a lot of people are satisfied with the answer that we did an audit. So I think it is an issue. And I think especially with more and more funds, crypto funds coming in, pools coming in, they do due diligence and they will check it. And if you are not audited, they will run away, and maybe rightfully so. So I think it's really important. You don't have to have, I think, a 50-page audit, but basically something that a trusted company has done and said, look, we looked at the code, we tried to attack it, we tried to hack it, and it's safe. We found some minor flaws maybe, but nothing major, nothing that's attacks the stability or just another security flaw. I think that's a good way to go to show also that you know what you're doing in the space.
I think it's quality certification.
Yeah, exactly, basically. That's what audits are for.
Company,
yeah, exactly. And I would not invest in a company where the main tool to raise money could be basically unsecure, because we have seen ICOs getting hacked, and then, you as an investor in an ICO, what do? You try to sue them, they don't have any money anymore.
I agree with the value of everything you've said.
But how many people are,
whether the customers, the investors,
there are some people.
How much do they actually care?
Yeah, so from our statistics, a lot more people than we thought read our white paper and color paper, actually. And I think that a lot of people are doing due diligence, especially once they are going with a fund, with a pool or something like that. If they are like a conglomerate of people, then they will check into your stuff. And there are, of course, people who are just going with the hype, FOMO, whatever you want to call it, and just say, okay, this project is cool, this was in Cointelegraph, now 2 Ether. And but I think with some changes happening and more big players coming in, yes, due diligence is a good thing. And be prepared for that, because you could lose out some cool, interesting partners as well. So for the community engagement, maybe I'm not on the same page as most people, but I personally do not like just doing airdrops, because I've seen so many communities that have 500 people, did an airdrop, now have 40K. And basically the only questions being asked is, when token? When do I get my token? When do I get my token? When is my airdrop? When is token distribution? So you cannot even talk in these chats anymore. It's just impossible, because every single question, 50 questions an hour, is when is my token? And I think this is also putting off some investors. So I still think it has value to bring in through bounty and stuff like that, but also a lot of bounty hunters just have connected 500 other bounty hunters, and that's the whole community basically. What we did is we switched our model to a more gamer approach, which is getting launched today actually, to get our core audience involved. And we're setting up another channel for a gaming community basically, because we don't want to flood the investor community, because I think it's It's just distracting. And also I've talked to some projects who have done airdrops. Their community grows very fast, but how high is actually the conversion? And it's very, very low. It's so for some projects not even at 0.01%, I think. Yeah. So yeah, you have 40K users, and how many people of these airdrop people, you can track it, actually invested? Maybe 5 Ether, 10 Ether. So yeah, personal opinion, other people do it a lot. Just not a fan. I like it more if you aim for community engagement for your future users. As I said, like with the gaming bounty campaign, we had some people who were really interested who said, look, I love your project, what can I do? We were lucky because they approached us, but you can ask them, like if you have a community that grew organically, they are here because of you, because they're interested in your project and in your product. So ask them what they can do for you. And I think that's a great way because this is basically also one of the reasons why some people are doing an ICO, right? To get the community engaged and to build something with them. And we got a lot of great feedback, and you might be surprised what can come out of it. Yeah, again, a mix of content is good because everybody has a different style, wants to read on a different medium. You can hand out small gimmicks, like you can hand out coins, stickers, you can do a QR code and stuff like that. And I think if you meet them at an event, it's better because then they remember you, then they join you, and they say, ah, cool, and they get a small thing from you. We try to be as transparent as possible and answer every single question we get. Can be annoying, yes, but I think it's a good sign, and that's also the reason why our white paper is so long. It will be time intensive, so plan ahead. We thought, okay, one full-time community manager should do. Does not, so we onboarded a new guy who helps us with community management. So we also have now a fail-safe. Basically, once our sale hits and the question get more, we can rely on another community management team who will answer the questions during peak hours, basically.
How many are you in total?
We're a team of 8 people. 8 people, and we have a few people that are basically team members through tokens. So they are part of our community through Bounty, and these are around 4 more that help us on at least a half-time basis. And yeah, exactly. So that was a lot of me talking. Do you have any ideas or do you disagree with me? Do you have any ideas where you say, no, you should do it like this, or this is bullshit, there's another great way of doing it? Anyone who wants to share? Yes, please.
I just had some experience before that I've seen ICOs that are done without any smart contract.
Mm-hmm.
Just coin purchase agreement on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then without lawyers' approval.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also this Telegram community which are use some kind of, I don't know, black technology that just drag people without their permission.
Mm-hmm.
And then increase from 300 people to 20K.
Yeah.
So I just don't know in the ICO community what's the boundary, right? Like
Yeah.
what is actually being done properly.
Yeah, exactly. So we got pulled into some groups as well. So there's a neat option in Telegram where you can just say nobody can invite me into any groups without my basically permission, which is a setting I would recommend strongly. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Community is growing overnight from 300 to 20K is ridiculous because it cannot be organic, I would say. So the problem is why people do it is because a lot of people will contact you, and a lot of people actually do this. They look at size. Say, okay, you have 30K followers on Twitter, 30K on Facebook, 30K on Telegram. Wow, your project must be big. And is it really? Nobody knows. But some people look at it, and these are exactly the people who are basically uninformed, who just look at hype and say, okay, big community, wow, so many people are in there. And a lot of people will use fake accounts or bots to spam messages. So they also fake activity. And it is a problem. How to solve it? I don't have a solution. Guessing there's an ICO in there somewhere to validate basically how to track community. But I agree.
Some investors are also.
Yes, some people are looking at least you have to have some certain thresholds. But I think it's a shame. The same with buying ratings on, I don't know, ICO bench for 2 Ether, which is devaluing the total rating system. But people still look at it. So either you play along or you find a strong enough communities that you don't have to.
So is it like a standardized procedure now for the smart contract to execute the coin purchase?
Oh, you mean do you?
Smart contract
Yeah.
executed on purchase.
I think so, yeah. So we have a paper contract as well for the private sale, for example, because some people, they don't want to invest in Ether or in Bitcoin. They want to buy tokens through fiat. And you cannot do this, or you can, but is a lot of hassle to do it through a smart contract. But I think the main tool is and should be the smart contract, because that's a very clean and efficient solution. You have a smart contract, and it's a basically play-by-play stuff. You send me Ether, I give you my tokens. And with a paper contract, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of setup, it takes more stuff to read. So I think to have both is a good idea, so you don't lose out. But the smart contract is the main tool. And currently,
Contract for cornerstone, private sale, and then smart contract for public sale.
Yeah. you have a question? Yeah.
Who's able to buy tokens for in your ICO? Is it like I've read other ICOs have this need for accredited investors.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, is this how do you need to be an accredited investor, or could like somebody like me also buy a token?
It depends highly on the whitelist blacklist that you do. It depends, and that is actually something, it depends on the jurisdiction you're in. It depends on what bank you have, because they will ask for stuff like that. And it depends where you're selling it. So example, for the US, you can do it through the accredited investor Reg D exemption. Usually in the EU or in other countries, you don't really need that. So for us, if you're from the US, tough luck. If you're from China as well, Canada, I think as well, it's all in our terms and conditions. So yeah, we took legal counsel on that. We talked to our bank, and we have a KYC provider who is checking. And I think that's really important stuff is AML KYC checks. Anti-money laundering and know your customer is what that stands for. And to check basically, are they even eligible? Are they really who they say they are? And are they listed on, for example, on a Terra financing list or something like that? There are a lot of KYC providers out there. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Also, I think for us, it was just, we tested, I think, 7 until we found the right one. And with references and a solution that is easily integrated and that is not a lot of hassle for the investors. Because if you do a video ident in Germany, most people know it. But for example, in other countries, it can be a pain. And if you have a bad laptop and your camera is not good, then it could lead to issues because just the quality of the video is just not good enough. So you will get rejected. And if you get rejected, you maybe not say, oh, okay, I will find another project. So you could lose out. But I still think you have to do it. And I see more and more jurisdictions like Switzerland, for example, push more towards not like, is it a security utility, or how high is the level of AML KYC checks? Okay.
You mentioned
Yes.
about jurisdiction and also how you guys went through changes.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that and your considerations for
Mhm.
jurisdiction? Which one did you end up going with?
Okay, so for us, it was a multi-step decision because basically just because you're in one jurisdiction doesn't mean you are legal in other jurisdictions. So it's not a reason of like evading stuff. It's more a reason of what makes sense. And for us, we're doing in-game advertising, so we will handle payments. So for us, it was also consideration where is an e-payment license, for example, better obtainable. And also, it's sometimes a matter of answering speed. For example, we're in Germany, located in Frankfurt here, but the BaFin was known for taking a lot of time. They got a lot of, I know they are under a lot of pressure to do it right, and they have signaling effects, but for some projects it took 8 months to get an answer. And that is not a good time for an ICO, because I think most of you were at 3 to 6 months, so 8 months just to wait an answer could delay a lot. So we checked actually a lot of jurisdictions, Gibraltar, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Malta, Switzerland, Germany, even Estonia and stuff like that. We decided to go with Switzerland because that's something where we can both set up a company and not just a mailbox company, but an actual company, because you have Zurich over there with a great university, you have the Crypto Valley with some connections, you can obtain the payment license, and of course the taxes are nice as well. So I think it's for us it was a multitude of decision points, and for example, we could have saved a lot of more on taxes on Malta or Gibraltar or Liechtenstein or something like that, but that's not a way to, like, we are a business running, so I don't know how good it would be for developers and advertisers to say, oh, they're on the Cayman Islands or something like that. So I think we at least have taken that into account as well. And it also think it matters if you find legal counsel that you actually can work with. Because as with the KYC providers, I think we had 8 law firms and all 4 of the big 4 talking to us. And we went with a medium-sized law firm in Switzerland because and it was a very good decision because we really like them and we can work with them great. And I think you have to be comfortable in what they're doing and that you're not getting basically pushed to some directions. So now a topic I love to call hello sir or checking for validity because excuse me sir and hello sir will be heard a lot in your Telegram, on your social media and through your emails, and that's usually people who try to sell you their services. They are the best services and your project is shit and they can save you. That will happen to you all the time. Where people say, oh, you have to do this, oh my god, but we can save you for only 10 Bitcoin. And stuff like that is happening a lot. And basically, I'm guessing while I'm talking, I have like 5 new offers. So people will try to scam you, people will try to bring you down, and people will offer you the same stuff over and over. I can't count the times how many people have said, I can get you a better rating, and I can get you on listing sites. Like before we were listed, we had 10 offers a week, we can get you listed. After we were listed, it was like, we can push your rating, only 2 Ether per rating, yay. And people will contact you over and over again. Some are trying to scam you and say, yeah, you pay me just 10 Ether and I do everything for you. And usually if they want everything up front, not a good sign. Other stuff is that, yeah, they offer everything. They can do your content, they can do your PR, they can do your marketing, they can do your smart contract, they can audit the smart contracts they have written themselves and stuff like that. So they basically do everything for you for a surprisingly cheap amount of only 10 Bitcoin or something like that. So one example is, I wanted to give you 3, and then I wanted to ask you how you would check or how are you checking for validity, because it's interesting to me as well. So for example, we get approached by big YouTube channels where say, look, I am part of this big YouTube channel and we can do a promotion for you. Or you can buy an ICO bench rating for only 10 Ether, 2 Ether each, or a package of 10 for 10 Ether or something like that. And I see your community is low, we can provide you with 30,000 Twitter followers for only $150. So how would you check for validity of these offers and if there are scammers or not? Any ideas? Or any practices? Yes?
I think they would always be scammers.
Okay, good. One approach, yes. Other ideas? Other practices you do?
I would probably look at their past clients,
References, yeah.
referral or something, look at the performance.
Yeah.
of that client.
Cool, yeah. I agree, like, I don't think everybody is a scammer, and I give most people that are not ridiculously just offering everything for 10 Ether the benefit of the doubt. Usually I'm wrong, and the doubt was absolutely warranted for. But for example, this one YouTube channel had a pretty good reach. They had 150K subscribers. All the videos were with 25,000 viewers. They had some comments, good ratings, and I thought, is this actually a valid offer? Then I checked. It was 25,000 viewers with 1,000 upvotes, but only 10 comments, for 15 comments, which is a ratio that made me suspicious. Okay, then I looked like at 5 videos, and the 10 comments were by the same guys over and over again. So, yeah, exactly, whoops. So either they bought it or I don't know what, but actually it was really a person from this channel, because a lot of times the people coming from for the channel are not even working for this channel. They're just posting screenshots of, look, I am part of this project or part of this channel, and if you now only valid until tomorrow for only 3 so we can promote you, yay. So a lot of people will try to fake the names of actually valid channels or people, and it's incredibly hard. So what we did is stuff like for YouTubers, can you post a private video from a channel and send us a link? And if they are valid and actually want to work with you, they will do it. And then you see, okay, it is a private video that was uploaded upon my request at this actual channel, so they are legit. It's super annoying to do this, but otherwise you will just send out Ether for free, basically. Yes?
What was a positive surprise? You talked about negative ones as well?
Yeah, very few. But for example, we got one guy who said, look, I can bring you in contact with a big YouTuber and you will see that YouTube video soon. because they said they liked our project. Basically, a lot of people come in and scam you, and you have to sift through that, and maybe you will find somebody. And also, some people say we can do it through a split of your tokens and your US dollar Ether, for example. And we're now working with a content provider, for example, who will help us a bit with design and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool as well. And that was one of the 50 people who was offering, but he's actually the one who has already done stuff for us. So I know he's not a scammer, and that was pretty nice. So yeah, can work.
Is it even worth sifting through? I mean, if there are so few positive experiences?
I think so, because some of them are really helpful. For example, now we onboarded one new guy who wanted to help us with community management, and he's a nice, genuinely nice guy, and he helps us a lot. So yeah, if you, like, at some point you might have to cut and say, okay, I don't have any time anymore, but for that we hired a new guy, so we have the time, because sometimes the offers are great, and sometimes they are too great, but sometimes they're really legit, and sometimes people even like you. Like another example I just realized is somebody said, yeah, I have a big podcast and I want to do an interview with you. I was like, okay, sure. It's like, what are you offering? How much? Basically he said, no, I love your project. Let's do the podcast. And I will have that next week. And this is awesome. It's amazing, because some people actually like your project. And they can be hidden through other scammers, but don't lose faith basically in humanity is what I'm saying, because sometimes it's worth it. Red flags. So this is a personal list of my red flags for ICOs, and like a lot of projects are playing bullshit bingo, which I call, for example, my revolutionary decentralized dApp with 10x Mulambo. So you have just words everybody loves and thrown together, and they have a product and a project and maybe a 20-page white paper which is just full of, oh, we're so amazing and this is so amazing and this will go so well and we will do everything on Ethereum even though it makes no sense, and our token is used for payment, and that's it. Like, I've seen white papers 20 pages long with one sentence about the token. Don't like that. So we have a lot of projects that are also publishing stuff like, yeah, you will get 10x returns for sure, and they post graphs where you are here, but in only 3 months you have the 8 times, and at the end of the year 16 times, and I think that's a big red flag for me at least. Some people say, yeah, so we'll issue 500 million tokens now and maybe 500 million in the new year, and or issue some tokens when we need to onboard new partners and stuff like that. So people who just print out their tokens, nope. People have no tech people or only tech people in their team. Some people have an advisory board which is 20 people long, and everybody knows these people, from example, from ICO Bench. Well, these people are in 40, 50 projects at the same time. Do they really contribute anything to it? So a lot of people just do name dropping. And the latest trend I've heard of is that VCs are coming in and say, I will invest in you with my brand name, and I will get tokens for that just so you can use my logo because I bring validity. And I think this is crazy. It's basically the same with the rating agencies and the advisors there. Now some VCs are doing it, and they are taking shares or tokens from projects that's just so they can put up their logos. So crazy trend. Some are saying, yeah, we need a lot of money for 50% marketing, 40% IT, and 10% other stuff. And they have no clear roadmap. They're just saying, yeah, we need basically marketing only. I think that's not a good sign as well. Some people are involved. I've seen projects where people, the CEO is a CEO at one company, CTO as another company, and COO as a third ICO. So how does that work? Where is the time? So I think, yeah. Token allocation, yeah, some people say 30-40% for the team is okay. Don't think so. Other projects say, yeah, we need 70% for marketing, 20% for development, and okay, so you don't have administration, IT costs or stuff like that, no legal. Yeah, these are just some things I personally look at when I look at white papers and stuff like that. A few of other learnings, it will take longer and it will cost more than you think in the beginning. You always need to do more, and everybody will tell you need to do more. Focus on what you think is important. Maybe even listen to your advisors, that's what they are for. Choose a regulation that makes sense for your business as well. Start creating your content early. At the beginning, you might have a bit more time, so write stuff, prepare stuff, shoot some videos, prepare some graphics, because later on, you're here, swamped. Don't forget your actual business. Like, ICO is super exciting and it's fun and you have to travel a lot, but it's a means of fundraising basically. So don't forget that you actually have a product that you want to implement. And we found a lot of partners, like 12 launch partners already, through just our traveling, and we continue to work on some features as well. Yeah, be open for advice, because some people actually know what they're doing, and then listen to them. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, but it's my baby, I know what I have to do. But I think it's a good sign if you just adapt to it, basically. Triple check everything, especially with advice, because a lot of people actually just say they know what they're doing. And most important thing, get a great team. Get people who are not you, but who can do stuff with you. So basically, like complementary stuff. We have some guy who's better in tech than me. We have somebody who can pitch better than me. We have some guy who's better at financing than me. I can do everything, but I can't do everything on my own. So get some great people along and have fun also. You made it to the last slide. Now it's time for an AMA, which everybody should do as well. We learned that too late. It's a great way to engage the community. Just ask me anything, and there will be a lot of questions. And thank you so much for listening. And yeah, if you have any more questions, I took more time than I thought, but maybe 5 more minutes. Thank you.